So this month is going to be quite difficult when it comes to chasing our... Oh, sorry, I'm looking there. When it comes to chasing our running challenge goals, normally we try to do 100 kilometers. We did that in January, we did it in Feb. In chasing the target in Feb, I picked up a bit of an injury, so I don't know what you call it, if it's a ACL, meniscus. That sort of hurts as soon as I run, sort of impact, any sort of impact going downstairs and stuff like that is starting to hurt. It's not that I can't walk, I can walk and everything, but any sort of heavy movement. Going upstairs is fine, which is weird. Going down the stairs and supporting the load of the knee is a bit of a problem. How did we get there, I guess? So this is about injuries per se. We lost the whole week in Feb because of the snow. We actually lost 10 days of running. And we couldn't do anything. It was just basically snow was, this thick. And the running paths weren't clear. You could only run in the road. So we stayed in. We did a lot of home workouts, which I think you saw in the previous video. What happened was that we were left with 1 week to do 40 kilometers. In that, we knew we could do it. We did it, I think, with 2 days to spare. But, in that period of time, I guess that's why I picked up the injury. So that was last week, actually. This whole week, I haven't run at all. I've only walked. In terms of the injury, I think there are about 4 things which I can identify, which were part of what caused myself to get injured. Obviously, we mentioned that we did more mileage than we normally do. So number 1 is obviously insufficient warm-ups. When it comes to the warm-ups, you sort of get excited to run, so you just end up going to run. But there, you need to sort of warm everything up. You need to do some sort of, get the heart rate going, basically. Warm the legs, warm the joints, the small joints and stuff like that. But one thing that I really realized in this week off, it's the 3 main things, especially if you're sitting at your desk. A lot of people working at home, so the 3 main things is your core, your lower back, and your glutes. So like even now, that's what I'm doing with the foam roller, which is obviously trying to loosen, or I guess my lower back is very tight, and that obviously comes from weak glutes. Weak glutes come from a weak core. Those are 3 things that stabilize you when you're running. So when you're running and you're moving, actually if you think of how important those 3 muscles are in all your movements during the day, if they're weak, if you're not using them actively by sitting down the entire day, they become weak over time. And then I am trying to be a hero and increase my mileage by doing 40 Ks in a week for me, which is tough at 89 kgs. That can be difficult. So it came to warm-ups. I think that was obviously the one big issue. So one of the things I'm trying to do going forward now while I'm injured and going forward will be to work on my lower back, work on my core, work on my glutes. So a lot more resistance training. Can't go heavy, so obviously when things get better, I can do squats with barbells and stuff. When gyms open up in the Netherlands, or when I'm back in SA, I can actually get access to a gym. But do a lot more resistance work, so a lot of bridges, a lot of stuff with the bands, basically. Those small bands, the little ones that girls always use for booty. Yeah, a lot of that glute work, basically. The lower back is also very tied. It's tied to that, but also like your Supermans and all that kind of stuff. So we'll probably make another video where we show you all the resistance work that we do. The work that we can do for these 3 muscle groups, as I said, the core, the glutes, and your lower back. The next thing definitely that we did wrong, or I did wrong, in that week was a lack of recovery. So with starting the website, the podcast, the blogs and stuff, I really got motivated. We do a lot of videos and stuff, and that means that I'll go to bed at about 10, wake up at 4. Doing that and also trying to run extra, that is not really good for your body. So recovery is really important. I felt that this week I've cut all of that out. I've been waking up at 6 o'clock as per Imala's norm, not my norm. So go to bed at 10, wake up at 6, so that's about 8.5 hours of sleep. Sometimes I go to bed at 9:30. Haven't been a big fan of sleep, but now I think this injury has taught me to be a big fan of sleep. No extra early mornings, definitely trying to manage my time better. So with the podcasting, the blog, us running and stuff like that, during the week, Monday to Friday, I think we'll focus on that, especially when things get better. Just focusing on doing that stuff during the week, which is obviously sleeping for 8 hours, going to work and running, and that's about it. Nothing else. No more blogging and all that kind of stuff, unless we're sacrificing, I guess, some of the time that we chill. We watch Netflix and relax and spend time together. I guess that's the only time. But still going to bed on time, managing your time to say 10 o'clock you're in bed, 6 o'clock you're up, like it's non-negotiable now. I think this injury has forced me to understand that. With the recovery portion of it, I think a big part for me, which I wasn't aware of, is the fact that your food determines how you recover. So obviously a lot more proteins if you're doing a lot of muscle building, how you fuel your run beforehand, so eating nuts or versus eating carbs, and when you should eat your carbs, when you should eat your carbs. My biggest enemy, which is sugar or refined carbs or highly refined sugars. I have switched this week and I have felt that it has helped my sleep a lot better when I have the craving for something sweet instead of going for chocolate, going for apples. Yeah, so that kind of stuff really impacts your recovery. So obviously if you can have a healthier meal, you can obviously push more and it would help you to prevent a lot more injuries, put it that way. Oh yeah, another thing though is with our attempt to eat healthier, we only have one cheat day a week, but it's a whole cheat day. So that's going to be on Saturdays. So during the week, we eat, let's say 80% clean. Like it's just good proper meals, some good carbs like pasta, some lasagnas, some wurst for protein, a lot of eggs. In terms of cool drinks, just basically syrup cool drinks and water, no Cokes, no fizzy cool drinks, which we normally would have. Yeah, no chocolate, I guess, at the end of the day. I haven't had chocolate this week, which is surprising. Maybe I did have earlier in the week, just a little bit. But compared to my norm, it's not that bad. It's not as bad as it used to be. So definitely realize that has helped with the recovery. I'm not fully healed yet, but definitely I'm sleeping better. So we have one cheat meal a week, which is going to be on Saturdays, where it's a whole day. Not cheat meal, cheat day. We don't normally eat breakfast. We can have basically 2 nice meals. They're probably going to be Burger King and something else. And then back to Sunday, get things rolling again. So I want to keep that obviously when I go back to SA as well. All these things I want to keep and start doing on a daily and weekly basis. So the third thing that I guess added to the injury is chasing personal bests. What happened was that week where we did the 40 kilometers, we ran Monday, Tuesday, skipped Wednesday, we ran Thursday, or I ran Thursday, Friday. The Monday run, we did a marathon run, which wasn't so bad. The Tuesday, we did our PBs, which was, I think, 103. And that average pace was just under 7, if I'm not mistaken, or just around 7 minutes per kilometer. And so Wednesday came, and I think you just get amped with that sort of energy that you were running at that pace. I chased it on Wednesday, and in chasing that, I did not recover fully. I wasn't eating well and all that other stuff that I mentioned before this. So in chasing that PB again, or that PB pace, I think that's where the injury happened. And then on the Friday, I was 10K short of finishing the 100. I knew there was a problem already. I knew that my knee was sore, and I still went for a run because obviously I was chasing that target again, and maybe it was a bit faster than it needed to be. It wasn't impressive or anything like that, but I definitely should have slowed down on the Thursday run as well as the Friday run. So I guess we've said, in terms of PBs, you can probably chase them once every 2 weeks. What's important for us is actually just to keep running going. Keep the marathon running going, I guess, at the end of the day, because we're not runners. It was impressive, obviously, that we could lose 10 days and still get the 100, but now this is the result. And the funny thing, I was laughing at her in one of the videos saying that, we're doing marathon running, and then I go against my own rule and injure myself. The other part, I think we spoke about warming up. The other part that I guess we don't do and we need to start doing is warm downs. So stretching afterwards, I think we do obviously put our legs up in the air and let the blood circulate, I guess, not downwards, but that's something Imola taught me, basically. Put your legs up in the air when you come back from your run. Why do you do that, Alex?
So they say, one, it's good for just to relax for a little bit because your legs are up. You try to relax. Don't go on your phone. It's also good for your neck, for your back, and because your feet are up high, still the blood flows very nicely, and it's just good for recovery. That's what I've read, so that's what we tried. I think it was quite nice, honestly, to let your feet rest a bit and then go back up.
But yeah, we weren't actively stretching and recovering afterwards, especially like foam rolling after the exercise. You probably should foam roll. From what I understand from a lot of people, you're only supposed to foam roll afterwards, but I've just got a bad habit from the hockey, squash and swimming days that I foam rolled before. Stretching afterwards, rolling afterwards is really important. We don't do it enough. We should definitely start doing that more. Funny enough, we ordered this and I got it for my birthday before we got injured, but now it has actually come in quite handy. So this is they call it a fascial gun. So obviously it's got a few settings and it vibrates, and got Imola to treat me with that. So as I said, so lower back obviously is really important. So that's something that we're going to be using. So I think this head on there, I just want to put it up higher. The head that's on there right now at the moment is for the muscles. Obviously this is not a muscle, this is a vertebra, but I still like the feeling. And the idea is that when you come back from runs, depending on what sore, especially the glutes, to try and work on that more. So yeah, this is part of the, I guess, either the stretch, the warm down, the recovery and everything like that. So trying to use this a lot more. We did it for a specific reason, to make sure that we did warm down a lot better, but now we're actively trying to do it because it's not nice having an injury. I'm not in pain. I feel the niggle, but the thing is that this whole week we haven't been able to run. We've walked. We did walk to Monday, Tuesday. I actually walked on Wednesday on treadmill, Thursday on treadmill during my lunch breaks, and then today we're gonna go for another walk. And then next week we can obviously see how it's doing. Try to go for a lot slower runs, similar to how it was when we started. So yeah, that's injuries in a nutshell and how we are trying to not prevent them but build from it. So as much as they suck, it's also a good base to start learning from, noticing a few small things and small things that you can tweak and make sure that you take care of in order not to be injured. Because yeah, we want to obviously perform better, we want to get the benefits from running, but if you don't do it in the right way, you can't run and you can't get those benefits. Just doing a bit of stretching, obviously, as I mentioned, lower back, your glutes and your core are really important. So even in that situation, just this side obviously for the glute. And it's weird though, because it's definitely, my knee injury is definitely related to the glutes, because as I move it over certain portions, I can feel this weird tingling sensation in my knee. So yeah, if you hear that click, obviously not every single time I can do it, but I have had this before, especially when I play hockey, for the same reasons. Health related, sleeping and stuff. I injured it, but I've forgotten it until this injury reminded me again. It's just a reminder, put it that way. Definitely need to work on my glutes a lot more, especially now that I'm sitting a lot more at home, working from home, compared to when I was in the factories or my previous workplaces where I was walking around a lot more. These issues weren't exactly present. So if you can hear that, it keeps on clicking, which is quite annoying. Not annoying, it doesn't hurt to do that, but now it doesn't want to do it. But yeah, my glute, oof, it feels good, but it feels so bad at the same time. Yeah, weekend we're probably just going to do a lot more indoor workouts, a bit of resistance training and stuff like that. Looking forward to the cheat day tomorrow, because I feel we've been good this week, except for maybe a few Mari biscuits. They call them Maria biscuits, can you believe it? But yeah, a few Mari biscuits here and there. We behaved ourselves compared to normal weeks. And yeah, that's injuries in a nutshell. Well, my injury in a nutshell. I hope that you don't experience this. It doesn't stop you from running. Listen to some of this advice, go read up on it, consult people as well if you've had the same thing. If you have any suggestions on how I can probably start running again sooner than later, please let us know on all our platforms that you can get hold of us on. Bye!